Hello everyone, you are welcome to Anchor Network where you get reliable and authentic news that are so crucial to you. I say big thank you to everyone who has been part of this channel and who has taken time to subscribe. And if you are yet to subscribe, I say please click the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notified anytime we publish any news. We transmitted 2019 presidential results electronically, says Inec. On Friday, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) said that it transmitted results of this year's presidential election electronically, but that it was a pilot scheme which was not yet supported by law. Daily Trust reports that Malam Mohammed Haruna, the INEC's national chairman, the INEC's national commissioner in charge of Kogi, Kwara and Nasarawa states, representing Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the chairman of INEC, disclosed this in Abuja on Friday. He made the revelation at the public presentation of Yaga Africa Watching the Votes WTV General Elections Observations Report of the 2019 elections. Malam Mohammed Haruna said, "The key word is pilot. We were piloting and you have to take that into consideration. In fact, it is not a done deal. We were testing to see whether eventually we would use electronic transmission. The clarification from Yaga about the law that if the president had signed it, it would give us the legal backing to transmit electronically. The fact is that the bill that eventually went to Mr. President never even contained that. That is the fact. So, as I said, the important thing is that it was not a law and we are piloting it at state level. For even this presidential, it was just a pilot. Let us be very conscious about this electronic silver bullet. Each package comes with its own problem. Adopt it today. It is going to have its own problems, hacking and so forth. We have to be very careful that once we adopt it, all our problems would be solved." Haruna, who is also represented the INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, IVEC, Festus Okoye, added. Ms. Cynthia Mbamalu, the Yaga Africa Programs Manager and WTV Project Director, speaking earlier, said that the organization designed its checklist with the use of INEC's guidelines, and one of the things we observed was that in Osun and Ekiti states, INEC piloted the e-collation, electronic collation and transmissions of results using a smart card reader, SMC, and we have seen it recorded huge success in Ekiti and Osun. And informed by that knowledge, we had introduced a question on that to also track if that will be implemented in the elections, she said. Dr. Hussaini Abdul, the chairman watching the vote WTV working groups of Yaga Africa, who presented the results, said that INEC introduced reforms to deepen citizens' participation and election integrity. The elections were still marred by many of the shortcomings which marred national elections previously held in the country. Let us know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments section below. So guys, that is just what we are hearing. You know, as I was reading this and I was just like kind of panting. Or am I the one, you know, is it my imagination? And I began to read it and they were really confirming it, and they are saying like, you know, there's a program that was held in Abuja also, which was yesterday, and the INEC is saying that they transmitted results of this year presidential election electronically. So where? The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said that it transmitted results of this year's presidential election electronically, but that it was a pilot scheme which was not yet supported by law. According to the same thing, what initially this thing has really, be back and forth, and the INEC chairman later came out and said, oh, they were just trying to test run. They didn't. He said they even use it for in some states, but not for presidential election. But now the man representing him on this occasion saying that they transmitted this result electronically. I think that is just what the man is saying. So what are we now talking about? So they said, Inec chairman said before, when he answered to the allegation after, back and forth, there was server, there was no server, that it was just they didn't receive budget, and again, that they just used it to test run some elections that were held before the presidential election, and before they now found out that it will not be okay for them to use. But now the person representing him at that higher level saying they transmitted this result electronically, the presidential electronically, but the Inec chairman said it was just some elections that were held, some state elections that were held before the presidential election. So this contradiction is what we don't know. But we are not even supposed to be surprised about all of these things, because the people that worked with Inec then, they came out and they came to the court and they said they were taught on how to transmit all of these things, and they transmitted it electronically to the server. And Inec was telling us the same thing, that this different thing, that it was they ought to have done that, but because of the budget didn't come out on time. Everybody knows what is happening. These guys are just trying to play to the gallery. Even Igini said it, and even the last time there was a last article that was written by somebody that was talking about the role at which Shegun Showing played even in the court at the last time, that the council of APC and Buhari would never expected that, because now there was counter reaction and all of those. But a lot of the evidence that we saw, and people even testify, you could see the handwriting on the wall. If really the judiciary will do the needful, honestly, he's not going to take anything. And some people were like, and I think that was why Atiku and PDP really have that confidence that there was results in the server. They saw results in the server, because if this man at his level representing the INEC chairman on this occasion yesterday, which was Friday, certifying that they transmitted it electronically, which we never heard before. They said they never transmitted anything at all. So if you transmitted it, electronically, where did you transmit it to? Is it not server for you to save it there, for you to be for the result to be kept there? So in all of this, we know that a lot of a lot of things are really shrouded in secrecy, and that's why we can't even get to the they are not even telling us the truth, because you could see that even the only thing that APC and Buhari, the witnesses they could take to court as far as this election or this presidential election that the tribunal is concerned, the only thing is they were just even concerned about the qualification of the president, because you could see that from articles, and they brought a lot of witnesses, but INEC could not even bring, and APC could not even bring people to counter the witnesses the PDP people brought. It was only the witnesses of whether the Buhari has certificates or didn't have certificates. Those were the witnesses they brought to the court. So we know that a lot of things are shrouded in secrecy. And someone is saying, this professor is something else. Mahmoud, it's a disgrace to professorship. If it is not whatever, I don't want to mention what the person is trying to say. Is that really an abusive word? Mahmoud ought to have known that there was no budget provision for piloting purpose in the budget is submitted to the National Assembly. So what is he saying? This is a country of anything goes. If not, tell me why this man should not be arrested to account for the billions he was given for the 2019 presidential elections. Some people, myopic and fickle-minded, will be abusing Atiku as if they are not even Nigerians. Put party aside. What are we teaching the younger generations? First, a man that is glaringly not having a certificate is being forced down on our throat. And now a professor is indirectly telling Nigerians, whether we like it or not, we must accept the presidential result, irrespective of whether there was a server or not. What a country. If all these are allowed, I don't see any reason we should send our children to school anymore. Those people saying Atiku formulated the fact that INEC have a server should read this from INEC. Yes, they should read this from INEC. INEC is saying that they transmitted presidential election electronically. When Atiku was emphasizing on it, people were calling him all manner of names. So what are we going to say to this testimony of this man representing the Inec chairman? He's talking from the Inec angle. This is really, really serious. Of course, people are not too surprised because, you know, if really the judiciary wants to, you know, play the role of its independence, definitely they will do the right thing. We know all of these things, honestly. Good, whether pilots or real, the results were transmitted to a place. What we need is the results that were transmitted. Nobody is disputing the law. The results that were transmitted were from the polling unit. We are not saying that the results were lawful, but tell us the figures as was transmitted. And that is it. And now, and somebody was saying that the budget, the other trying to say it's piloting, but was there a budget, you know, the budget INEC gave to the National Assembly or that presented to the presidency, was it a pilot a budget or what? That is what the questions. A lot of people, I know a lot of you guys will be asking these questions. So guys, I would like to hear from you what you think about these new developments and saying from INEC saying that they transmitted the presidential election, the just concluded presidential election electronically. Leave your comments below in the comment section. We would like to hear from you. Thank you very much. Bye.